Yeah, so coming off a good win against Sam Houston, now we got to get ready for Liberty. It's we have I guess 11 days now, 12 days starting yesterday, or from the time we ended the game. So it'll be nice. We're pretty banged up going into last week, so getting a lot of guys healthy, we can manage some of the practice schedule leading up. Kind of interesting because they play a game before we play them, so we have a chance to watch them play against UTEP this week. So a lot of questions. Vasco, their quarterback, he's a pretty good player. Obviously didn't play last week. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they handle that situation. We had a great game against Liberty last year where we felt like we played our tails off. Had a great opportunity to win a game and just wasn't able to finish. So we're excited to get back out there, and get after that. They do a great job there. Chadwell is one of the best, young dynamic coaches in the country. Off to a tough start. We've been there before. When you look at teams like Sam Houston, you look at teams like Liberty, and then you think about the spring transfer portal, and it really takes a toll. It really, really does, and you see that. But we know how dangerous they are. We know how well prepared they're going to be. We're going into their place. I feel like we go there every year. We've been there quite a few times since I've been here in 22. But they have a great atmosphere. Again, great university. He does a great job of getting his team prepared. So again, it's a week removed from their UTEP game, so they still got to worry about them before us. But we're excited to get up there and get ourselves going.
What's been their problem this year? Why they've only won one game?
Well, they've been in some tough games. They've played solid defense. They're kind of finding their way on offense. Obviously quarterback changing there, and then their quarterback being out this last game against Old D. Hurt a little bit. It's just it's one of those deals where you just got to stay the course. It's a long season.
Some of the guys that have been hurt, like Tyler, Dijon, Kai. What are maybe the status on those guys coming?
So Stanley's back. He practiced last night. He's good to go. Kai is still out. He's been in concussion protocol for a long time. Don't anticipate getting him back this week. Tyler he's out right now, and he'll be out for a couple more weeks, depending on again, high ankle sprain. Just kind of depends on how that comes back. But everybody else is good to go.
You think DK is going to come back, or is he also out? Pops.
Hobbs is out right now. Obviously didn't play last week. He's got we'll see. He goes in, get some pictures taken today, so we'll kind of see where that goes from there. So right now, I'd say questionable, probably a 50-50 deal with him.
With Kai out, the line that you guys had last week with BJ at center, and then Mateo going to right guard and Florian getting to start left guard, is that the line you guys are going to stick with, or is there going to be some?
Yeah, I anticipate that. BJ did a good job. It's probably his natural position. Kai gave us, we messed with it early on, but just watching the last two games of BJ there, he's probably our best center. So I think that's actually going to be our best lineup. So moving forward.
Logan, TK came back last week, got over 100 receiving yards, was the team's lead receiver last week. Felt like he was using a lot of explosive passing plays and kind of some jet sweeps as well as kind of a gadget dude there. What is it like for you getting a guy like that back and just getting another weapon like that in the passing game?
It's everything. We've been excited about him since the moment he got here. And so when we knew we weren't going to have him for a few weeks, that kind of sucked, but it's always about the next man up. And having him back this week, there's definitely an emphasis to get him the ball, because that's a player that needs the ball. If we're going to win games and have impactful plays, that's a guy that's going to do it for us. And for me, my job is just to get him the ball, and I was excited to do. And having him back will just open up a lot for everybody else.
What's TK like as just a person, and just like what's you guys' relationship like?
He's a really good dude. He doesn't take a lot seriously, and that can kind of be his strength. He kind of he does what he does. He has a good time doing it. And he's a high energy guy. He's always having fun, singing, dancing, and we've got a good relationship. He's a really good dude, and he's all about ball.
Logan, how does what you've seen so far this year compare to the opponents you've seen in your previous places?
As far as defensively?
Well, what you've seen, what it's like to compete against them. Is this a tougher group? How does it compare to last year?
It's a little bit different. I'd say structurally, teams kind of line up and just play. I feel like there's not a whole lot of change in college football now with so much transfer portal. I think even last year and a little bit in the 23 season of when you go to do week-to-week roster checks and scout reports, you see a lot of guys that they transfer from this school, they transfer from that school. So I think from a talent standpoint, it's kind of a lot of the same stuff. We're out there to just play defense, and we've had a lot of explosive guys around me, so that kind of helps as well.
Logan, I want to know, how much did last game give you confidence for the rest of the season and for this game coming up against Liberty?
Extremely confident, and I think that goes for the whole offense. Kind of to go and get that first conference win, be 1-1 in conference play, and get the ground running on that in the month of October. That's a big thing for us. Having guys like TK back, having guys step up on the O-line. So we checked a lot of boxes as an offense. You know, we ran the ball well. We had some explosive plays. We had long drives. We were efficient. Obviously, we'd like to score a couple more touchdowns, one of them being my own fault at the goal line there. So we still have a couple things to clean up, but that felt like our best well-rounded game as an offense, and it gave everybody in that room a lot of confidence to keep moving forward and build off that momentum.
Coach, kind of building off on the offense, it seemed like you guys finally got the run game going a little bit this past week. What do you think that the reason or the success could be attributed to?
Well, just kind of sticking to it, you know. I mean, you know, you go a week before, and we just didn't hand the ball to the backs very often. I mean, I think it was 13 carries to the backs. This one was in the 20s, you know. And I think the more you give them opportunities, you know, guys like Kadarius, they're going to find opportunities. They're going to make big plays, you know. So one of those deals is just kind of committing to it, you know. And I think that was probably the biggest thing. And you know, we got a bunch of young guys they're growing up in front of us. We've got a lot of transition there, you know, guys that have been out and guys are stepping up. But again, I think it's one of those things where we just we made a commitment to lean into it.
And then, yeah, for both Coach and Ezra, Jamie Chadwell's offense is known for all the different options and the spreads and the motions and stuff like that. How nice or much of a benefit is to have that extra time to prepare for an offense that has all those different moving parts?
I feel like it's a good thing to just have that week and a half to prepare. And I just feel like I haven't played them before, so I'm looking forward to it. And I've played similar, so but we're gonna be ready. Yeah.
Yeah, so the good thing is Joe Morris was at Sam Houston before here, so he's obviously competed against him when he was at Sam, competed against him here last year, so we're familiar with Coach Chadwell and what he does. And anytime you play a team that's got an option element, I mean, you have to be very disciplined. You have to have great eye control. You have to eliminate all phases of the option. So we got to be ready for that. So again, a lot of it will be predicated on who their quarterback is. If it's Vasco, they're going to be a little bit more option heavy. If it's not, again, from what I saw against Old D, maybe not as much so because those guys aren't the same type of runners that he is. But yeah, no, he does a really good job. Again, he gives you a lot of eye candy. You're going to have to do a really good job of being disciplined.
Ezra, tell us about the Sam Houston game. It looked like you were having fun out there.
Yeah, I had a great week of preparing. My coaches put me in a good situation, to go out and just be me. But it was I definitely was having fun over there because I had a great week of preparing.
Was that your most effective game here, do you think?
So far, yeah, for sure. So far, I mean, we have 7, 8 games left. I think it's more to come for sure.
Coach, how do you keep your team composed after a big win last week? Probably the best game you've coached since you've been here. For an even bigger task next week, possibly.
It's just consistency. I mean, I think if you ask these guys, they're kind of like, here goes Coach again. He's tough on us. He's getting after us about the little things. And I mean, as soon as you walk on the practice field, it's feet between the line. Let's get ready for blitz. Let's get going. Let's practice hard. I mean, it's just the same thing. I think consistency is the whole deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to be too high. Never going to be too low. You're just going to be steady Eddie about your approach and your process. And I mean, that's the key to winning nowadays. I mean, you really see it in college football. I mean, there's so many of these deals, and if you can just keep your guys consistent, keep them showing up, don't get too excited about, that night, I get it, but you come in the building the next day, you can't be overwhelmed by a win or a loss. You just got to go back to work. So, I mean, I think, that's going to be the deal. Again, I like, there are some weeks where, like last week, we wanted to get back on the field. It was a great 5-day turnaround. This is kind of nice because we do got some guys with some AC joints and shoulders and a couple of ankles and nothing, crazy, but just things where we can afford to rest these guys up a little bit, get them healthier before we go to the next attack.
Coach, did the running game get any help from the fact that TK was out there as a sort of a counterpunch?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think a little bit. I mean, I think it was, again, more just kind of leaning into it. I mean, it wasn't just like we blew the doors off, but we were able to hand the ball, get some good first down run. That's the key, you're getting some good first down runs so you have manageable second downs. When you're sitting there and it's second and long all the time, it becomes hard as the play caller, hard as the quarterback, harder there, you know. So those first down runs were really, really good. So it made a difference, you know, and the thing about it is, you know, King's a phenomenal player, right? But you also have Donovan Fapel out there, and you've got PJ out there, and you got, you know, Gavin Harris out there, and I mean, I can go on and on and on. It's like if the focus completely becomes on him, we've got other guys that can make you pay for it. So we've got guys out there. I mean, like literally, you know, we are going to make sure he gets the ball, but because he's out there, it's like if you're going to focus on that, we got plenty of guys who can make you pay for it.
Is there a way to get more guys on the team who go by initials?
That's the same thing.
Yeah, right.
All the time.
He was Tyler King, but then he wanted to go by TK.
Yeah, exactly.
He wanted to go by initials. For you, Tony, it's felt like, you know, New Mexico State and Liberty, that game has kind of meant something in these last few years. You know, 2023 conference championship game last year was a nationally televised early game, and even before Conference USA, you know, teams were scheduling each other twice in the season to kind of fill out the schedule. What is it? It's kind of an interesting thing because like New Mexico State and Liberty are on kind of opposite sides of the country. How do you feel like this game has maybe just evolved in the way you guys see Liberty, and maybe the way Liberty sees you guys down the road?
Yeah, you know, like Logan brought up, it's interesting with the whole transfer portal because you have so many. I mean, I go back to 2022 where there's a couple of guys on this roster that were there, but not many, you know. But you go to 22, and that really was the game that kind of changed our whole trajectory here at New Mexico State. I mean, we go there the night before the game. You know, Hugh Freeze gets gets out that he's going to Auburn, and they come out, they play flat, and we just jump on them, get a big win, and then all of a sudden you're sitting there going like, oh well, we have a chance to go to a bowl game, and then we get the San Jose game rescheduled, Valpo, win that, go to a bowl game. So that kind of ignited us, you know. And then the next year we went and they got us pretty good at their place, but then we went back there later on for the conference championship game, a hell of a game, you know, went down to the fourth quarter, great game, you know. And then last year, man, we came out and obviously we were a little down last year, and we jump out, we got a good lead, we hold it almost the entire night, and then just watch those two drives at the end just crush us, you know. I mean, it made a big difference. So they've always been really competitive games, and I think it'll be more of the same. You know, our guys will be fired up, ready to go. We're playing for a lot. We're halfway to bowl eligibility. We're 1-1 in conference. You know, we're doing some really good things right now. We got to go learn how to win on the road. You know, with this team, every year it's different. You know, we've got to go get a road to win now. You know, again, we're going to bust our tail to make sure that this is the one, you know, but there's no guarantees. But you just got to learn how to travel. You got to learn how to win on the road. You got to learn how to be gritty. They're going to be tough at home. They've always been tough at home. It's going to be an exciting atmosphere, national TV, and we'll be ready to roll.
What are some maybe challenges you guys have had on the road? Because maybe at home you guys have been able to finish games, and maybe on the road they kind of get away from you. Do you feel like that's it, or do you feel like there's something else?
Yeah, you know, I mean, the La Tech game it was disappointing because I felt like we just were never on the same page. I felt early in the game we did some good things offensively. We just didn't put the points on the board that we needed to. We got some. Defensively, we struggled in the first half. We come out in the third quarter, we played lights out defense. We struggle on offense. You know, we just never got on the same page. The New Mexico game is a totally different deal. We came out, we were ready to go. You know, we jumped up to a good lead. Again, we struggled putting the ball in the end zone. We could have created a big lead in that game, you know, and we didn't, and it cost us at the end, right? But we played good football, you know. So again, we got to come out with that same type of mentality and just play for 4 quarters.